Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So today we will chant 13 verses of Bhaj Govindam. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Mudhamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukrim Karane. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Mudhamate, Mudhajahi Hidhana Gamatrishnaam Kuru Satbuddhim Manasi Vitrishnaam Yallabhase Nichakarmopatam Vittam Tena Vinodaya Chittam. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Mudhamate, Nari Stanabharanabhi Desham Drishtva Maga Mohavesham Etanaman Savasadi Vikaram Manasi Vichintaya Varam Varam. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Mudhamate. Nalini Dalagata Jalamati Taralam Tatvajivitamati Chapalam Vitti Vyadhyabhimana Grastam Lokam Shokahatam Cha Samastam. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Mudhamate, Yavat Vitto Parjana Saktah Tavat Nija Parivaro Rakta Paschat Jivati Jara Jara Dehi Vartam Kopina Prachati Ge. Bhaj Govindam Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Mudhamate, Yavat Pav excuse me. Yavat Pavano Nivasati Dehi Tavat गच्छति कुशलं गेहे गतवति वायौ देहापाये भार्या बिभ्यति तस्मिन् काये भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते बालस्तावत् क्रीडा सक्तः तरुणस्तावत् तरुणी सक्त वृद्धस्तावत् चिन्तासक्त परमे ब्रह्मणि कोऽपि न सक्त भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते काते कान्ता कस्ते पुत्रः संसारो यमतीव विचित्र कस्य त्वं ककुत आयात तत्त्वं चिन्तय तदिह भ्रात भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सत्सङ्गत्वे निस्सङ्गत्वं निस्सङ्गत्वे निर्मोहत्वं निर्मोहत्वे निश्चलतत्वं निश्चलतत्वे जीवनमुक्ति भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते वयसि गते कामविकार शुष्के नीरे काकसार क्षीणे वित्ते का परिवारो ज्ञाते तत्त्वे कः संसार भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते मा कुरु धन जन यौवन गर्वं हरति निमेषत् काल सर्वं मायामयमिदम् अखिलं बुद्ध्वा ब्रह्मपदं त्वं प्रविश विदित्वा भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते दिन्यामिन्यौ सायं प्रातः शिशिरवसन्तौ पुनरायात कालक्रीडति गच्छत्यायु तदपि न मुञ्चति आशावायु भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते काते कान्ता धनगत चिन्ता वातुल किं तव नास्ति नियन्ता त्रिजगति सज्जन संगति रेखा भवति भवार्णवतरणे नौका भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते. Bhunesh, Kanchi is not able to get in. Are you able to log her in? We'll just see if Kanchi is able to log in. But before, I'm sure Bhunesh is assisting her to get in. Last week, we had started upon verse number 12. Verse number 12 was showing us the importance of time, how we are not maximizing our time. So Dinya Minyau Sayam Pratah, day and night, Shishira Vasanta Punarayata, day and night, dusk and dawn, winter and spring, they keep coming and going. They keep coming and going, and time sports. Time passes us by, and yet, the gust of desire remains with us. Another message from Jalpa that she's not able to join in. Is there some problem? Anyway, so the whole thing is, the notion that we all have is that time is eternal. We have infinite amount of time, and we will be able to do everything that we want to do in life. And of course, the least priority is given to our spiritual growth, to our spiritual development. We postpone it and we leave it for later in life when we will retire. We feel that, we will definitely find time for that in our retirement. However, that's not the case. What happens when we retire, we feel we have worked so hard all these years, and having worked so hard, we have so many things that we wanted to do in life, which we were unable to do. We did not have enough time for it. So then we want to travel. We want to have time with our friends, with our near and dear ones. And that is, we have parties, music, and we keep ourselves entertained. But that does not give any meaning or purpose to our life, and spiritual growth remains undone. Now, there is a beautiful Subhashita in Sanskrit. Kanashaha kshanashaha chaiva vidyartham cha sadhayet. Kshane nashto kuto vidya, kane nashto kuto dhanam. By every single moment and every single penny, we accumulate knowledge and wealth. When a moment is lost, where will we acquire knowledge? If a penny is lost, how will we acquire wealth? So the importance of time is very essential. And in Ramayana, there is a Kaschit Sarga. In that Kaschit Sarga, Rama is asking Bharata, are you doing everything that you should be doing? Every sloka begins with Kaschit. That is why it is called a Kaschit Sarga. In this, he gives beautiful management principles are given in the Kaschit Sarga. So if we look at all the activities that we undertake, they fall under 4 major categories. Things that are not urgent and not important. Things that are urgent but are not important. Things that are not urgent but are important. And things that are urgent and important. Our time is mostly managed on urgent and important. And when we have spare time, we will all be surprised to see that we spend it on not important. That is what includes all pleasure activities, time, in which we waste our time. Not all pleasure activities are wasting time, but activities where we end up wasting a lot of time. This is the typical area where we spend a lot of time, and the area which we should really focus upon gets neglected the most. And that is not urgent, but important. Because it is not urgent, we postpone it. Exercising, for example, finding time to care for ourselves, our body, mind, our whole being. We neglect it because we feel we have infinite amount of time. Ito pachi karsu. Eનું ધ્યાન મારું મને વાંધો નથી. But that is important, and we have to be able to delegate time and decide to do it. Our ashram arrangement or vyavastha is what gave us a beautiful time management, a broad outline of time management. If we follow that, we will be able to manage our time very well. First 25 years, get our education, get, set our goals, set our priorities based on our inner qualities. Not just because I see somebody driving a certain type of a car and I would like to have that car. So I set my goals. This person is an investment banker and that is why he can afford this. So I want to become an investment banker. Not based on that. Based on where I will excel, what is inherent in me. And that is why in the second verse, Shankaracharya says, give up that desire for wealth, but whatever you earn honestly, with that wealth, enjoy. He's not stopping us from enjoying. Enjoyment is required in life, but how we select, how we manage our time in overall growth, not growth in one direction, but a full growth in our emotional maturity, intellectual maturity, including spiritual maturity. And how we spend our entire life will determine, have I given time for that? And if we look at people, we will, and ourselves too, we will observe that people who value themselves value their time. So valuing our time is of absolute importance. Time is the greatest commodity that we have, and we should not waste it. If we look at where our time is wasted, we will find that there are two areas, internal and external thieves, that take away our time. So some of them are, if we don't have a proper working plan, we just go with the flow. That is a big time waster. Lack of clarity in thinking and purpose. We are confused and we don't have clear set goals. We keep changing them, shifting them. Our inability to say no sometimes. And because we have not cared for ourselves, our body and mind both get tired. So these are some of the things that cause us to lose time and waste time. We must pay extreme attention to these and also remember to find time for our spiritual growth. That comes to find all this time management. To be able to manage our time well requires self-discipline, self-mastery, and self-control. And they are interdependent. Once we manage our time, that discipline will come. And once we become disciplined, time will be managed. If we manage our time, we will be able to live what is called a full life. We will grow in every area. We will grow externally. We will mature internally, physically healthy, emotionally healthy and mature, intellectually sharp, and spiritually we will mature. That is the full growth of a human being. And we ignore the spiritual development. And for spiritual development, desires have to reduce. As we go through life fulfilling our desires, we do not need to accumulate and collect desires. So this is why it says we go through life, but we do not give up our desires. In spiritual maturity, if we desire, if we want spiritual maturity, we will have to live a full life, but learn to recognize that desires have been fulfilled and there is a higher purpose, there is a higher calling. And now I am paying time to that calling. So that is an intelligent way of managing our time and our desires. So first few years, pravritti marga, we engage in life, and then nivritti marga, we move away from active engagement in the outer world, and we start slowly paying attention, devoting our time to this growth, to developing this maturity by reducing our desires. So that completes verse number 12. And we will start with verse 13. That again, here he says, Kate kanta dhanagata chinta, vatulakim tavanasti niyanta, trijagati sajan sangati reka, bhavati bhavarnava taradinoka. So he says, oh distracted one, why worry about wife, wealth, etc.? Is there not for you the one who ordains, which means rules and commands? In the three worlds, it is satsang alone that can serve as a boat to cross the sea of change. So this verse, verse number 13, is the last verse that is given by Jagat Guru. Then it is followed by 14 verses by his students, and the concluding 4 verses are again by Jagat Guru. So the first verse is what is the chorus. The next 12 verses are given by Jagat Guru, and it is also referred to as Dvadasha Manjarika. Now here he's referring to 2 things, wife and wealth. Wife here symbolizes, and let us not be of that new idea that why is it that he's referring to woman as a dependent. It doesn't matter. He's really referring to dependence when he talks about wife. And wealth is what we depend upon. So he says there are, we are so consumed with what we are dependent upon and those who depend upon us. And we are constantly striving, and we are fully engaged in taking care of these needs. He's asking us, do you not have faith? Really, where is your faith? So here, he's trying to address our anxiety for future that we have. Faith does not mean that we should not act. We have to act in life, but if we look around, we should, our observation will tell us that there is some higher force, there is something divine that is taking care of all our needs. In Gujarati, we have a beautiful saying, Kidi ne kan ane hathi ne man. The Lord will provide all of us what we need. It will come our way. And if we observe even things in our own lives, we will find that every need or whatever we should have is really taken care of. And it will surprise us if we are paying attention. Also, this is brought to us in such a beautiful way in all our literature. We are all the descendants of Manu and Shatrupa. Manu and Shatrupa are the Manas Putras, they are not physically born out of Brahma, but he willed them and they were born of him. And we are the descendants of Manu and Shatrupa. Manu refers to mind, and we say Satrupa, but it is Shraddha Rupa is the root. So we are the children of Manu. We should be thinking, and that thinking has to be accompanied with faith. So he's not talking about blind faith, remember. There is no room for blind faith. Faith that comes through thinking. So where should we put our faith? Faith in the Lord. Why should we have faith in the Lord? What is the thinking that will give us faith in the Lord? If you just look around, how much is there already in place for us? We were provided for. The mother's body made arrangements the moment she had us in her. Then the mother had milk for us. How does it all happen? You look, and once we, come out and start living here, the sunlight, the air, oxygen is there for us. All our requirements are cared for. Not only that, the plants take in carbon dioxide, give us oxygen. These are just a few things. How much is already in place for us? We are all provided for, we are all taken care of. When we observe that, when we pay attention to that, we do get faith in some higher power. So faith in the Lord, faith in Guru. Guru knows us fully, and the Guru has a good understanding of our strengths and our weaknesses, and will guide us according to our strengths and weaknesses. And we have experienced that with our Guru, that the advice we get is always right for us. So that is how, no blind faith in Guru. So faith in Guru. And my Guru also got his learning and all his ability, not only from his Guru, but also from the scriptures. So faith in Guru, the Lord, faith in Guru, faith in scriptures. And through these faiths, what comes to us is faith in ourselves, which is very important. And these three will give us faith in ourselves. So this is the faith we have to have in life. Again, it has to come through right thinking, no blind faith, and no giving up action. Action we have to do where we are. And what is right for me will come to me. That is the faith. I don't know how much time we have, but if we do have some time. There is a story of, two monks. They were students under the same Guru. And they, of course, after they finished their studies, they had gone their own way. And they were both wandering monks. And they happened to meet. And they were both going to the same place once they met. So they started walking together. And one of the monks was fully convinced that the Lord will take care of me. And he did not believe in the power of any material thing, including wealth. And so he said that everything is taken care of by the Lord. And the second monk said, I do have faith in the Lord, there is no doubt. But in this world, if we have to function, we need wealth, and it has its place, and one must have wealth. And they both had diametrically opposite views with reference to wealth. And they were walking together, and they walked on, and suddenly it was dark, and they came to this river, and they were in the jungle, and the settlement was on the other side of the river, so they had to go across. And there happened to be a boatman waiting there. So they asked him to take them across. And the boatman said, only if you can pay me will I take you. I will not take you without payment. So they get into the boat and go across. And then the monk, who believed in having wealth, said to the first one, he said, now I guess you will accept my point of view that one must have wealth, carry some money, because it works, it gets things done. And the first monk said to the second one, and you probably will accept my thinking because the Lord gave you that money to take me across. Now, so the point here is we have all to have our faith, and we have to function according to what we believe in initially. Because if I believe that my wealth will move me and I give up wealth, I will be in serious trouble. But if I have matured to that extent, I will see the play of the Lord in every field, in every aspect of my life. But till I reach that stage, I have to function and keep observing my things that are happening in my life and mature accordingly. Nowhere are we told to give up and grow in faith blindly. So that was the purpose of this story. But I can tell you, I have so many personal observations. One that I'll share with you. We have 5 minutes left, but when Mummy really felt sick. Now, if I want to transfer from one place to another, it takes a lot of not only paperwork, but it takes a lot of time. And it goes by seniority, and one could end up waiting for a couple of years to move from one place to another. As all of you know, every November, Mummy would go to India and come back in March, April. So this was in 2002. I had taken Mummy to India, and I came back, and I was told that there was a reorganization, and if I wanted to keep my position with Air Canada, I would have to move to Toronto. Now, Toronto was not a problem for me at all, so I moved to Toronto, and this was sometime in May of 2003. At that time, Krish was about 6 months. December 2003, Vipul had the Guillain-Barré syndrome, and he was so sick. I mean, he came that close to going onto a ventilator. Fortunately, he didn't, but he was completely paralyzed. He could not move. He could not do anything. He was in the hospital, and I was there with him. And I still remember it was on the 9th of April that Vipul was released from the hospital. And all this time, I could not think of going to India to bring Mummy. So once Vipul came home, I decided to come. My passport was in St. John's, to come to St. John's and go and bring Mummy. When I landed at the airport, my colleague met me at the aircraft, and she said, "So you're coming back to St. John's?" I said, "No, I haven't been given an invitation yet." She said, "People junior to you are coming back." So before going to anywhere, get my bags or anything, I went to the manager's office and I said, "How come this has happened?" He said, "Leave it with me." I said, "But tonight and we only get 24 hours to accept." I said, "I'm leaving on the flight tonight to England and then to India." He said, "Oh, just leave it with me, go home." When I came home, I got a call from him. I accepted the position and went to India, brought Mummy and came back. I had to go back for a week to work in Toronto. And during this time, Mummy kept saying, "I can't hold my cane properly. I can't walk properly. There is some problem." But that week that I went, Mummy was perfectly all right. Now, when I came back, the condition of my transfer back to St. John's was I was guaranteed 20 hours, which is part-time, but I was not given a full-time position. However, I could work up to 40 hours if I wanted. And the only reason I would have wanted 40 hours is for my pension, and that is it. But I was able to get 40 hours in a week. I was working 40 hours. A few days after I came back, Mummy started, her walking was getting worse. And they kept on saying it was her hand, it was her hand. One day, in an emergency, she could not even get out of bed. I had to come from work to take her to the bathroom. I took her to the hospital. She had to have cervical spine fusion. It was a very serious thing. She ended up in the hospital, I'm just making it short. 6 months in the hospital. Now I was working 20 hours. I did not want to work 40 hours. I had time to take care of mommy. And as soon as mommy became independent, able to do everything, one of my colleagues came to me and said, Meena, would you like permanent 40 hours? Because I want 20 hours. I want to slowly ease back. If I had wanted to do it, it would not have happened. And there are so many incidences like that that have reinforced my faith. So let us all pay attention to things that are happening in our lives, and we will observe that our faith will get strengthened. There will be challenges. That doesn't mean challenges won't come.